Whammy. All right, so the way we're going to handle this, to start, I'm just going to ask, I'm actually just going to introduce the three of you one by one. So we're going to talk about what you used to play, how long you've been playing ShootMania, thoughts on the game, stuff like that. And then after that, it'll be more general discussion. So I'll just ask a question and then ask for each of your answers kind of in turn. And then we can just talk about whatever, if you guys have stuff you want to talk about.
I want to talk about you, Josh.
You want to talk about
you just talk about you.
That's all anyone ever wants to talk about.
Just like super awkward and stuff.
You're just going to ask me personal questions all the time? Why is the stream not doing what I want it to do? Pause, play. Yeah, there it is. Hey, stream works. Twitch.tv/IPL ShootMania. If you guys are on there, you should be able to see yourselves. Don't be too vain, because then it'll just look like you're looking down the whole time. I actually have to look over here to see you guys on Skype, and then over here to see the stream and Twitter and all that stuff, and then up there to actually look at the camera. But yeah, this is the first episode ever of Target Practice. This is a new ShootMania talk show run by IGN Pro League, kind of like a mini project that I basically just decided to do a couple days ago. So thanks to all three of you guys for coming along. For people actually tuning in, these are the guys of ESP. They won our PAX qualifier for North America, and then they went to PAX and destroyed Area 51 Gaming and won $750 for their efforts. Was that a 4-0, I'm pretty sure, in a best of 7?
Yeah.
Yep, all across the board. All right, so wow, we actually have some viewers. Must be getting some promotion here on Twitch TV. Over 500 viewers already. Thanks very much, everyone, for coming to check out Target Practice, the first ever iteration. I'm AskJoshy. I'm one of the casters for ShootMania here at IPL. We are doing our first EU qualifier this week for IPL 5. It's a $100,000 ShootMania tournament, the largest FPS tournament prize pool in, I think, a lot of years. I'm not sure. Painkiller was the last massive one. But yeah, it's the first six-figure pool I've seen in quite a long time. These guys, ESP, are signed up for all the North American qualifiers. I'm pretty sure they'll probably just one-shot it next week. Is that the plan, guys?
Yep. Hope so.
All right, so now I'll introduce these guys one by one. We've got David Garrido, or XP3. How are you doing today, David?
Pretty good. Thank you.
Excellent. Thanks for coming on. Brandon Godson McGaha, is that right?
Yep.
I apparently added an extra N on your name, so I'll fix that.
Okay.
McGahan? That's not right, is it? No.
No,
it
not
isn't.
right.
Okay. And now that is fixed, maybe it'll get fixed. I don't know. It kind of got away from me here. Oh God. Oh Skype. Oh XSplit. You're so fun to work with. All right, your name's just super long now. It fits though. All right, and then finally we have Bryan Gilbert. How are you doing today, Bryan?
Doing well.
Excellent.
Doing well.
All right.
That's so funny.
I don't know.
I don't know. It's just fine.
Brandon's name is really long. That's kind of funny to me. But either way, we've got a lovely show for you guys today. This is the first time we've done it, so there's not so much of a schedule built in yet. I figure we'll just do a practice run today and figure out how the format of the show is actually going to go from now on. Every Tuesday night at 6 p.m., we've got plans to bring back Target Practice. Maybe some of you ESP guys will be able to be some permanent guests, or if that fails, we'll have Fragdolls on. We've got Rafa already said that he would come on and talk a while, so maybe one or two of you guys can stick around. I know Brandon's a little bit more reliable than you other two guys.
Yep.
Oh, really? Bryan, I didn't even know if he was going to be on the show tonight, and David did just get his camera working, but at least he got that. So yeah, let's go ahead and start. Introduce you guys on some of your past games that you've played and accomplishments and stuff like that. We'll go ahead and start with David. Do you want to tell us, where you're from, if you want, how old you are, what games you used to play, stuff like that?
I'm 25. I used to play Counter-Strike 1.6. I used to play professionally in France and in North America when I moved here. I played for like a lot of teams, both in Europe and America. So I played most likely for Team AAA, which one was the best clans in France for several years. And here I played for Complexity and Check 6 most recently.
Okay, so
pretty much it.
Yeah, you've been on a lot of teams then. I actually worked for Complexity all of last year. How'd you like that organization playing for them?
It was pretty cool.
Yeah.
I wish it could have lasted a little bit longer, but we had issues with our team, so we had to end up like our sponsorship a little bit early. But that was pretty cool. I played like 2 ESCA seasons with them, and I went to several lands, and everything was cool. We were cool with everyone. The staff was awesome. I mean, that was probably one of the best organizations I've ever been on.
Oh, nice. I'm sure they'll be very glad to hear that. Jason Lake and Jason Bass are some great guys to work with.
Yep.
Yep. Were they both there when you were? I'm assuming so.
Yeah.
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 Okay.
They were both, and they were still there.
Okay, so you played in France for a while. When did you you live in Canada now, so when did you make that move?
4 years ago, I think.
Okay.
I don't actually remember, but I think it was like 4 years ago, around 2009 at the end of 2008. Yeah, I kind of moved in here. And I didn't really want to stop playing Counter-Strike, so I started from the bottom again by playing with like local people from Quebec. And then at some point, I wanted to still compete at good lands, and I had a chance with an American team, so I just jumped in and played. And then from that, I just joined like the best teams in North America.
Gotcha. So how long ago did you stop playing Counter-Strike?
I stopped playing Counter-Strike like when CSGO came out, I guess. Because everybody was making the switch, and my team that I had at that time was Check 6, where I was playing with players such as Fraud, Storm, Eco, and Dizaman, and we were not sure if we actually wanted to make the move altogether, so we kind of like, everybody just went their way, and I didn't feel like I didn't want to learn the game again, because it's really different than CS 1.6, so all I had in 1.6 was just useless in this game, and I just didn't enjoy the game in general, so I was like, I'm probably not going to play it. And then I started playing ShootMania.
How did you first discover ShootMania?
I've heard about it from Merit Cops, actually, and some friends, that they were actually already playing it, and they were talking to me about that SIPSTIM event. That was like the very first tournament for ShootMania that was in France, and I was just talking to them about that, and at some point I was like, all right, let me try it out, and that's it. Since then I just started playing. They were so much better than me that at some point I just wanted to play as much as I could just to beat everyone.
Well, that sounds like the competitive FPS player that everyone tries to be. But ShootMania, what did you like about it that actually, I mean, obviously you said you wanted to be better than everyone. That's a first motivation. But after playing it for a while, I mean, you didn't just quit after a couple of weeks. So what about the game actually caused you to continue playing?
I think I was kind of bored of the strategic aspect in Counter-Strike and the fact that you need to rely on your team a lot. Like, you can be as good as you want. If your team is not on point, you're not going to win anything. So, and I used to be the leader for my teams, making strategies and stuff, and I kind of like got sick of this, like trying to do my best every time and maybe playing on top of my game and then not winning because our team-wise we're not on point together. So I think I got a little bit bored of that. So I kind of wanted more of a solo game type, and ShootMania is actually the game that is perfect for me because it's like, it's still team game based pretty much, but it's 3v3 and it's so much easier to make strategies and deal with 2 people instead of 4. And I like the fact that one guy can actually make his team win. If one guy steps it up, you can actually win a game. So it's kind of like impossible in Counter-Strike. You can play very good individually, but if the other team plays better as a unit, you're still gonna lose. And it's not like that in ShootMania, so that's why I like it better. Okay,
so the smaller scale kind of kept you sticking around because obviously you would be able to carry a team on your attacking rounds, you know, just landing lasers left and right. Is that kind of how you felt? Like, obviously ShootMania is still in beta. Were you playing in alpha when there were just really, really few players on there and you're just crushing face? Or how did it start out? Did you start out weaker or stronger than the rest of the field?
I started out weak, I guess, like everybody else that starts the game. You still have to learn like everything, the movement, all the game mechanic works and everything. But I'd say it took me just a week to catch up with them, like because I played a lot individually just to learn. I watched the best games already that was out there. I was just learning from the best players already, and it's just me. When I play a game that has like a competitive side, I just want to be number 1. If I can't, I just don't play the game. So I saw an opportunity there. I knew that I could do it, and I started playing really intense. And at some point, I was already matching up with the best players here, so I was like, let's keep going.
All right, cool. Did you play with the European players a lot? I know that the ping disadvantage would be kind of a big deal.
Oh yeah, it's not that big of a deal for me because I'm living in Canada and I have like 80, 90 ping. So when I started playing, there was like literally nobody playing in the US. So I had to play in Europe servers. So I grinded all my ladder points and all my skill against European players. And most likely, I was always trying to look up who's playing on which servers so I can just play with the best players. And that's pretty much what I did for like one month straight. Yeah.
Okay. How did you meet your teammates? How did you meet Godson first?
I met him randomly in game. Actually,
okay.
I mean, I knew who he was because he played Counter-Strike too, so I knew he's Elias and I knew who he was. But I actually never met him or anything. And then they were already on the team, and I was just trying to make my own team. And at some point, I just got kind of, I didn't see it growing in the US, so I was like, whatever, I'll just wait for a team to just pick me up. And then these guys just came up to me when they lost one player, and they asked me to play, and I knew they were pretty decent, so I said, why not, let's go. And then I started playing with them randomly, yep.
Okay, gotcha. And how did you meet Gilz? I guess they were already on the team together?
Yeah, the same way. He was already on board with Godson, so when it was just a package, I met both of them at the same time.
Awesome. All right, I just realized I still have Gilz as AFK. He's clearly here now, so I had that there in case Gilz didn't show up, but now obviously he is here, so that's fixed. All right, and all right, so IPL 5 is coming up. That's got a $100,000 ShootMania tournament. What other tournaments have you played in with these guys?
We played like several cups online that came up like 2 weeks ago, like the ENSC Live. We played the first 2 cups of that, just to keep our aim sharp and just have fun. Pretty much, we don't really try to win these tournaments because obviously our goal is just to qualify for IPL 5 and to qualify for USWC. So we just play those, relax, and try to just keep our strats together and everything. See if everything works out for us. And so far, that's about it. I mean, when we first made the team with Godson, we tried to play those ESL Gamescom qualifiers, but it turned out that we just got kicked out of the tournament because people were just complaining that we were lagging, and also probably because they were scared a little bit to lose against North Americans. So at some point, we got a little bit upset about that, but then we're like, whatever. Some tournaments will show up in the US, and that's exactly what's happening, so it's pretty cool.
Gotcha. I noticed you didn't mention our little PAX thing, but that's okay.
Yeah. I mean, everybody knows about that. I forgot.
Yeah.
The PAX thing was also pretty huge for us because he gave us like, I think it came up at the right time because at some point we're like, why are we playing this game? There's nothing going on right now, so we're just gonna take it slowly. And then that PAX tournament came out, and we're like, all right, we have a reason to play the game now and play even more. So that's exactly what we did, and we won, and we were pretty proud about it and pretty happy because it's always good winning, even if it's small tournaments or whatever with lesser teams. Winning always feels good in gaming.
Nice. All right. Well, obviously the first North American qualifier is next week. I hope you guys obviously will do well there. And
probably,
if you do, I mean, there's four spots available for North America. Ubisoft is basically working with us to grow the North American scene. Obviously, Europe has a lot going on already. There's a whole bunch of cups and actually a couple of live events for them to play in. But North America doesn't really have a whole lot at the moment. So IGN Pro League definitely trying to help out with Ubisoft and Nadio trying to grow it over here. We're actually maybe growing it too fast or too strongly because we had 47 European teams sign up for a qualifier where only one team actually advances to the live event, and I've actually had Millennium and a couple of other teams tell me that if they didn't actually get through these 2 European qualifiers, that they would for sure be coming to the live event anyway to try and get into the one wildcard like open qualifier. So pretty crazy stuff. Europe already extremely well established, and obviously they have a ton of Counter-Strike and Quake players who have made the switch over to ShootMania as well. Might be able to grab some of them as guests a little bit down the road, but that's all very cool stuff. David, thank you very much for sharing, and now we can move on to Godson. Let's hear a little bit more about you. How old are you? Where are you from? What are some of the games you used to play?
I'm 23 from Arkansas, and I've played CS since I was 10.
Wow.
So that's about it.
So 13 years. Most of your life.
Yes, more than half my life, and I've accomplished nothing in it.
Oh, so you haven't been bouncing around pro teams all over Europe and North America like XP3?
No, I mean I tried, but every time I would get on a good team, I would play with a leader that was just kind of not cool, and I just left. So I don't know. I went to CPL. I got like top 16 or 16th or 24th at CPL Winter 2006, which was all right for us because we were like a lower like CalP level team. And then the following CPL is when Source decided to take over because of CGS, and I think we ended up placing like 5th out of like 30-something teams, and that was with a complete pug. So that was all right. I won some online tournaments and Source and Call of Duty, Modern Warfare 2. So I don't know. I've played like a bunch of games, but ShootMania is probably the first one I've actually tried to take to the next level, I guess.
Doing a show, Paul. Go away. Anyway, people keep barging in and showing me their nipples and stuff. It's really disturbing. But that's what happens here at IGN Pro League. Either way, now that Paul is gone, that's awesome that you do have some live event experience. Obviously, that'll come in handy for events like PAX, where you guys did very well. So what brought you to ShootMania? What made you first want to try it out?
Well, I've played Quake, like Quake and Quake World, and then I played Quake 2. Like I've played games since I was like 8, and I started out with Quake and Quake World. So I've always loved fast-paced shooters, and once it came up, and I did not want to play CS:GO because the game is awful. I just decided to try it out, and I love it. So I haven't had a game like this where I could just play multiple hours in a day and not get bored. So
yeah, that's awesome. So so you said you played Quake and you were drawn to that. So this, you feel, I mean, I'm sure as most people do, that ShootMania translates a little bit better from Quake than it does from CS because of just the style of guns and stuff like that?
Actually, yeah, that's completely false, in my opinion.
Really?
Yeah. It takes a lot of strategy and communication, and that's actually one thing me and XP3 are really good about, or we're good at communicating. And we've had to keep Bryan talking nonstop because this guy is Quake and he just does not talk. So it's actually, I think it would be better if you made a team of nothing but CS players and got used to the movement.
Yeah.
Because the aim, you can come, like if you're a good opper in CS, you're going to be good at this game. And coincidentally, me and XP3 are both oppers. So really, I don't see how, like, I don't think they're going to dominate as much as people think they are. I think that Quake players will do well, but I think it's an even playing field for all gamers, really.
Okay, so the strategy elements definitely are translating over from CS. And what about the movement and guns and stuff like that? I mean, obviously there's a little bit of translation from Quake. You've got lasers, instant kill shots, things like that.
Oh yeah, exactly. Like
Yeah.
I said, like you have to get used to the movement and the aim, of course. But like, just imagine the railgun as a no-scope op that hits accurate, and the only thing that it's really hard to adjust to is the rockets because it's a moving projectile, and you have to pre-fire and all that good stuff. So.
Yep, you got to adjust for travel time and try not to get too close to their feet because then you end up just bouncing them instead of actually hitting them. That was one thing that I know the Quake players were kind of upset about. Rafa mentioned, he was like, these rockets are weird, I don't like them. I was like, you'll get used to it, man. Okay, so ShootMania, you told us, how you kind of got interested in it, but you also said that it's a game that you can keep playing for hours without getting bored. Is that just Elite, or is that like other game modes, or what specifically about the game do you enjoy a lot?
Honestly, just Elite, but all the other game modes and stuff that people are creating are really fun also. I haven't played Speedball since the PAX, but that was a game that I probably play nonstop, but there haven't been too many servers full of that. So mainly just Elite. We have an Instagib server that we just go in, and it's just a railgun. Everyone has 1 HP, and that's fun. So
is that just free for all or TDM?
Yeah, it's free for all.
Oh, cool.
So
All
I
right.
like just going in there and frag everyone. So
Yeah, that's actually. I know you guys don't want to hear about me, but my gaming experience from FPS was actually Unreal Tournament Classic. I played 99 Game of the Year edition, and I played the weirdest niche, like crazy mode. So I played Capture the Flag, normal, Instagib Capture the Flag, not as normal, but still pretty normal, low grav, and 135 speed. So I played 135 low grav Instagib CTF, and I was one of the best in that game in the world because you know how Epic was it Epic or Rare? Who was it that actually? I guess it was Epic that kept their online ladders. They had the online ladders you could check up all the time. They had deathmatch stats and a different one for Capture the Flag. But Instagib was so easy to capture the flag. You could just camp the flag and get like 50 kills and 0 deaths, and your stats would go way up. So I have this prized screenshot of when I was #1 in the world in Capture the Flag. But really, all I did was camp for like 3 days straight and boost that kill to death ratio. But yeah, that was actually a small community. Only like 10 teams played on like the online ladders. There were no prizes or anything like that. It was like pure pride. That was 2002 that I played. So FPS, I kind of dipped away from that. But that's what I love is actually Instagib, and that's why Elite actually drew me in really quickly because I felt back like 10 years ago when I was actually doing this all the time. And it's, Elite is not Capture the Flag, but there are some similar elements to it, being sneaky offensively, trying to sneak up behind defenders and things like that. It's really pretty cool. But yeah, that's enough about me. You said ShootMania obviously drew you in for various reasons. But now that you've been playing for a few months, is it starting to get boring at all? Like what's keeping you interested?
it's not really boring, and like the thing that keeps me interested is that you have to like keep going because you have all these teams that were terrible a couple weeks ago that are actually taking some naps on us occasionally. And once we see like better competition and teams coming from other games and any Quake players that may be announcing a team soon that will start playing the game, once they start playing, it'll be really fun because we'll have to just play even harder to get better. Well,
That's right.
Stay as good as we are.
Well, now with big money on the table, all the old pros and stuff like that could be eyeing ShootMania. I mean,
Yeah, they're like roaches. They come out.
So
A lot of people come out of nowhere just to play ShootMania now. It's funny, but it's good.
yeah, it's awesome.
It's good.
Growing the game.
Bring competition. It's alright. That's what we want too. Like we don't want to dominate a game where there's nobody playing it.
Right. So, I mean, that's good for everyone to have old pros coming back in and checking things out. I mean, worst case scenario, they come play, try to get some money, and then ditch out. But best case scenario, they actually stick around. More tournaments go on, and then everyone can continue competing.
Yeah.
So that's kind of my hope, obviously, with IGN Pro League hosting tournaments like this. Yeah.
I think there's definitely people that are going to stay because they're going to join the game. But there's definitely people that are just trying to see like if they can do something. But if they fail, they will just quit.
Yeah.
Because
You'll get
that's
both.
probably their mentality. Like, yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, obviously, if they try and fail at ShootMania, there are other games that they could migrate to. But really, I mean, with 1.6 really kind of just being done, I mean, Global Offensive is trying to take over what remains of that, and then Quake Live basically being dropped from even the last bastion. I think ESL. Did they officially drop it? I'm not sure. Do you guys know better than me?
ESL
Yeah.
Fine.
for 1.6.
You know that.
1.6 or Quake. Quake.
Oh,
Duels.
Quake.
1.6
Yeah,
they're
they
done.
dropped Quake, and
Yeah.
they dropped 1.6 also. They're having some smaller events, I think, for CS:GO, but nothing like too spectacular.
Right.
And I think the only thing that CS:GO has going for it is they have a dream hack that's going to be like 45,000, and they have like a $10,000 ladder at MLG. So nothing's really picked up CS:GO yet.
Oh, MLG's
And the
doing
numbers-
go. I didn't even realize that.
It's just a ladder. It's for that
Right.
game battles
Okay.
thing that they have online. So they haven't officially picked it up as like a pro circuit title yet. So who knows if they will.
I see. All right. Well, don't want to forget about Gilz, obviously. Bryan Gilbert, nice to have you on the show. Do you want to tell us a little bit about how old you are, where you're from, and what games you've previously been playing?
My name's Bryan Gilbert. I am 23. I'm from Canada, and I've played mostly Twitch shooter, so Quake and Unreal Tournament and games like that.
Yeah, Unreal Tournament. None of the other guys said that one. That's
Just a bit.
That's
That's
the
what I
good one.
started on.
Yeah, dude.
2K4.
Oh, 2K4, really? Not even 2K3
Yeah, I
or
was
Classic?
late in the game.
Hmm.
Or no, 2K3, sorry.
Okay.
But that was bad.
2K3 was the one where they introduced all the wall jumping and stuff like that, right?
Mhm.
Yeah, that was pretty fun too. The only problem with the Unreal Tournament series was once Unreal Tournament Classic kind of lost most of its player base, they were like, okay, we need a new game, 2K3, go. And it was great. The Unreal Engine had, grown leaps and bounds, but the community didn't come back. They just kind of hopped on for a month and then died again very quickly. And then, they couldn't keep a player base going. I don't know why, because that game was so awesome. But either way, we have ShootMania now. Obviously, you said you used to play Unreal Tournament and Quake. Were you on any pro teams, or did you go to events and stuff? Any stories you want to share?
I've been to SWC, WSVG, QuakeCons. I didn't do stuff in Toronto and stuff like that, like bigger lands there, like 800 person lands around there. I didn't do much for UT. I did it most for Quake, and I was on Area 51 for 2 years. Went to 2 QuakeCons under them.
Gotcha. And
a few other events.
Okay. What made you try out ShootMania in the first place?
Mostly the decrease in activity for Quake, because it got pretty there was basically 2 events a year, which is QuakeCon and DreamHack, and DreamHack for 3 years in a row was invite only, so I just couldn't go, and so I went to QuakeCons, but there wasn't much, and then I saw this game coming out, and it was still in alpha, and it had as many events as Quake did that year, and it had just came out, so I knew it was picking up, so I got into it just because there wasn't really anything for Quake, and I didn't want to play some. It's not dead, but people call it dead. I just didn't want to play something with little activity.
Right. And so you just, because ShootMania was the next thing along, you saw some activity, you decided to pick it up. What made you stay then?
Probably because there wasn't. Well, we played for a while. We played online cups, and then there wasn't much. And then the PAX event got announced. That's why we kept playing. If there had have been nothing after that, if you guys didn't announce PAX and there was really nothing else, there probably wouldn't be much in North America. There would be in Europe, but there wouldn't be much at all because there was no reason to play. If there's already isn't anything for Quake, so I might as well not play ShootMania, right? Mm-hmm. But there are events for ShootMania now, and I kept playing because it was pretty fun, and I was doing well. I wasn't I got to the top quickly.
Right.
So I wanted to stay there.
Gotcha. And you guys are trying to avoid being dethroned by all these guys now being attracted by the big money.
Yeah, I see new names come in, so it'll be interesting. They have 2 weeks or something like that to. If that, no. I don't know. I think it'll be interesting. I don't. A lot of people are just on the money train, and I don't think this is a game where even if you throw 3 Quake pros in, they need more than 2 weeks. I'd say even even a month is just they got to play a lot, and they got to play top teams. I don't think that'll happen. So, you might see a couple upsets, but I don't think you'll see much.
So now that there is so much money on the line, if some random North American Quake pros decided they were going to get in on this, would you even scrim with them, or would you want to just keep them in the dark as much as possible?
We'd play them. We'd probably play them once at least, and then just see what happens from there. If we roll them, then they'll understand that they need to work their way up. But if it's close, then I imagine we'd keep playing.
Right.
Not a lot, but we wouldn't. I don't think we'd not play them.
Yeah, you don't want to help
them out. There's a team doing
that
to us right now, but I don't want to talk about it.
Are you getting frozen out? You're getting frozen out by some other teams? Don't want to practice with you?
Yeah, maybe, but I think we'll be fine.
Oh yeah, I'm sure you'll be fine. But that's one thing that's kind of difficult actually on ShootMania Elite for the moment. There is no ladder. There is no matchmaking. So you do actually have to, you have to actively go seek out your pickup games and stuff like that, and scrims and things. So that can be kind of tough in a competitive environment because everyone knows each other. It's going to be hard to. You don't want to reveal the people that you're going to be playing against, a week from now. So that could actually get tough soon, especially with all these qualifiers. But there are 4 North American qualifiers. I'll go ahead and reveal. I think 16 to 18 teams are actually signed up for this first qualifier that starts on Monday. and that's up from I think 11 teams for the PAX qualifier. So there is some increase, but still not as many people jumping on the bandwagon as expected, I think. And Europe, it's still massive. As I said, 47 teams signed up for just the first qualifier. And I think it's probably going to be more for the second one.
Well, it's because in North America, CS:GO has all the attention so far. Because of the biggest league in North America, which is the SCA, and they did a really insane job by promoting that game.
Mm-hmm.
So most of the people are just focusing on it. And I know a lot of people, they just made the switch because they're like, if I don't play a game, like if I stop playing my main game, which is 1.6 or Source, what choices do I have left? So they play Counter-Strike Go, even if they don't like the game. I can understand that, but I also don't understand why would you just play a game that you don't like. It's just weird.
Well, that's Godson made the point earlier that he didn't want to play Global Offensive because it was awful. What changed from 1.6 to Global Offensive that made it so offensive to you?
There's too many things. I don't know. Little details. They changed the movement, they changed the recoil, the weapons, they changed everything. They changed everything that people. I'm just talking for 1.6 players. I feel like most of us they changed so many things in the game, and it's more kind of like Source that literally you come from 1.6 to not have anything. Like you don't have a bag from 1.6 just to play Go. Like you not get the game, you just got to relearn everything, all the physics, the guns, all your puts with the nades, the tactics, because the maps are different. Like they will just put like a single rail somewhere on the map, and it will just change everything. And then also there's some. It's just the gameplay in general is really different from 1.6. It's kind of a little bit similar to Source, but it's still different. I know Source need to make the transition to, but it's definitely easier for them because it's the same giant. So it can't be that big of a deal when you come from a game that's the same giant. You can just adjust pretty quickly, and that's what was told different 1.6. They teamed up with like Source players because they knew that Source players had more experience in games. So all the teams kind of mixed it up. But I feel like at the end of the day, 1.6 players will probably be better overall, just because we're just smarter in game. Because Source was just a fast-paced game where strategy-wise you don't really need like that big of a strat book on the map or whatever. So you can just run a gun, and CS:GO is kind of the same right now. But I feel like CS 1.6 players will just have better aim and then better tactics. So I'm pretty sure with 1.6 players are still going to dominate them. And at some point, teams are just going to go back to what it was before. 1.6 teams against Source teams, and I think the 1.6 teams will be better.
Gotcha. You were lagging kind of throughout that. I did understand all of it. Just could I have you, if you hang up and rejoin the call, it should fix that. So do you just want to take a second to do that, and we'll break for a second. Okay, and that's going to mess up the overlay just for a second while he restarts video.
And I'm back.
All right, cool. Yep, and your video is loading one more.
Better?
And the mic is slightly better. So people in the chat were saying, Joshy can't understand. He's just agreeing sometimes. But no, I understood most of it. It was still fine. But Godson, do you kind of agree with what David was saying about everything about Global Offensive being totally different from 1.6?
Yeah.
Yeah.
For the most part, it's like, I don't know. It's just like a non-fun version of Source.
I don't even play Counter-Strike, and I didn't even like it. It was not that great.
I see.
Like, I played Source in 1.6, like, enough to, I don't know, get comfortable.
Like, I like how there's more recoil,
okay.
but I don't know. It still feels hella weird. I don't know.
Go ahead, Brandon.
Oh. What? Am I lagging?
Brandon. Yeah, you're lagging a little bit, Gills.
Oh.
Brandon, can you hear me?
Hi. What was I saying?
We're talking about Global Offensive and why you didn't like it.
It's just bad.
Okay.
But like, it's still like it's not terrible because like there is some like recoil. I don't know. Like Source doesn't have recoil period, so just like I don't know.
All right. Well, I don't want to have to.
I'm still lagging.
Yeah,
so.
Everyone's still lagging. So I kind of want to just stop the call and start it completely over. Is everyone cool with that?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
We're gonna do that then. Take 1 minute to reset up. You guys also have to hang up. We have to hang up totally.
Okay.
Like everyone has to hang up. Okay. Thanks for bearing with us, guys. Accept. All right.
Is it better?
That already sounds way better.
Yeah.
Yeah. Whoever
I
was
think it
hosting
does
the
that
call,
at some point, though.
it was
Is that
whoever was
better?
hosting the call. I think Brandon was actually hosting the call originally, but I've got
Okay.
this powerful IGN connection, so it should be better.
Okay.
And just restart your video when you get a chance.
Yeah.
All right, cool. All right, everyone's
Dad's
back
getting emails.
in their proper place, and that's way better. All right, so we talked about everyone's history a little bit. Now we can talk about ShootMania.
Yep.
Specifically. So Elite, you guys all kind of touched on it, how it's very strategy based for specific maps. Let's say if I were to release a new, IPL AskJoshy Paradise map or something like that, what would be your first steps to trying to figure out a new map?
Well, I think if you want to start a map and make it like competitively, like playable, you need to actually have people to try it out at first. Like first of all, you need to make something that you like and that you think it's fun, and then you need to have people that kind of know the game and need to guide you through what could be better and what could not be, what should not be on your map or whatever. That's kind of what we did with our manager at USP. He likes to make maps, so every time he makes a map, we just slap on, play his map a couple times, and then if something is really wrong or something is really too powerful for the defenders or the attacker, it will just like fix it.
Okay.
So it's like we try to just make it the most balanced possible. That's pretty much what you need to do when you make a map for Elite. Like it's got to be balanced. So they cannot be like a spot or like a rail platform that is just going to be too powerful and that people are going to abuse, or a cage that somebody's going to abuse and that the attacker is never going to reach the guy and the guy is just going to post there and just cover everything. So yeah, it's pretty. You need to think like you have to have an open mind and you need people to actually like try out your map and just like bring updates over and over to make it better.
Okay, so let's say something does get released, like if IPL released their own map or ESEA or whoever, and they're like, okay, we're using this in our tournament, but you've never seen it before. What kind of process would you go with these guys to figure out the map? Do you just hop in a game and stay in warm up for half an hour and jump all around it, or do you just immediately jump in a game and start to figure it out? What do you do?
Well, it depends. Like for ESWC, for example, they just like threw a pack of maps out there and they're like, all right, these are the ESWC maps. Deal with it, play with it. And I'm like, okay, we don't have a word to say, but obviously when we played some of them, we were still pretty upset about it because we're like, these maps are way too random. Like a lesser team could beat a good team just because of the map. So, but I guess that's part of the game too. It's a huge factor to keep people interested in the game. I feel like having new maps because it kind of like renews the gameplay all the time, because at some point on the regular maps people start to be used to see like this guy attacking. They know what he's gonna do. We know if we play that team what defense they're gonna run, so it's good also, but it's like I'm kind of like 50-50 about it. Obviously the maps needed to be tried out a little bit more so we could make it better, us the players, and then they should be released. They shouldn't just like throw that out there and be like, okay, this is the new maps, you guys have to play them, because there's literally like maybe I could recall 2 maps for the ESWC qualifier that are completely random and that we might have trouble playing them and we might lose games on them, but there's nothing we can do about it. We just gotta play them and practice them.
Okay, Gilz, do you agree with that about like ESWC's new maps? Like, do you agree that some of them are maybe mismatched and they should have spent more time on them? What do you think is the right process there?
I think it's tricky with that just because the whole point of that is to throw like fresh maps at I guess a group of competitive players and go, okay, well, figure it out. So like the element of surprise is good because that's what you want for something like this. Because if you start doing like, all right, well, we'll test the map with 8 top teams, then you don't screw, but you hurt a lot of those other teams because those the ones practicing are going to get a lot of experience on them, and give input to work in their favor. Some people have even made maps, like modified existing good competitive maps to make it like easier for attackers and stuff like that because they're not that great at it. So like I don't know. It's good, but at the same time it sucks because like David said, there's some pretty bad maps in that. Like Green Valley in the ESWC map is terrible. It's just a free-for-all map. That's all it is. It's completely free-for-all. You can't you can maybe have a structured defense, but it's just that map is so all over the place. And Swift, Swift is, I don't know, it's all right, but like those maps could be good if they had the time to be worked on from other teams, like have input given. But it would, I don't know how it would affect competition. Because I like the whole idea of 5 new maps coming, and then we have 2 months to grind it out and get good.
Gotcha.
And be the best.
All right, so obviously I'll keep that in mind if we ever want to try to introduce new maps, but we're working with Ubisoft and Naudio, so we're making sure that, you know, all the maps that we're using in the qualifier pool are ones that have been around for a while. And actually, I did ask Godson and Strengths and 1 or 2 other players what maps are good, what maps are horrible, and thanks for that, Brandon, because you helped us land on, you know, the maps that we have. We just picked 6 maps. I mean, they're pretty balanced. Like Crossroads, everyone's played 100 times. It is one of the original 3 maps that comes stock on every Elite server, like Collided, Castle Crasher. We even didn't go with like Watch Your Back or Solar Flare or even Leap of Faith because they just had a little bit too random elements. So Brandon, what do you think makes a good balanced map? What does a map have to be able to be competitive?
You have to have enough like places to escape as an attacker. You have to have multiple attack routes, and it's the best maps seem to have like different options for different places. Like me and David always take a certain route, and it seems like Bryan has a completely different thought process. So if you see us on our attack rounds, we'll be doing completely opposite what he does. So I don't know if that's like a CS player mindset or what, but I think you just need to have multiple ways to get to the goal, get to the pole. And on defense, you have to have a way to defend the pole. Like,
right.
There's a map that ESW has called Crossfire, and once time is out, and once you have time, or once the timer runs down and the attacker has to cap, there's no way to defend it. So you just have to have ways to balance out both sides, and that makes a good map.
Gotcha.
They can look like whatever, but
yeah, and I like maps like Collided for that reason, because Collided has, you know, a whole bunch of different attack paths. If you go stand on the point as a defender, there's literally like 5 or 6 different ways that the attacker could be coming in. So I feel like that giving the attacker options is like super duper important. But like you said, at a map like Crossfire, ESWC Crossfire, that's the one where the pole itself is actually on a little bit of a lower ground, right? But it's kind of wide open over there. Yeah, so you still have to give the defenders, you know, columns or ledges or something to be able to work with. So, David, what are you laughing at?
Just talking. Oh. Some people just trolling me.
Yeah, of course. Of course, we're going to have trolls. It is the first episode of Target Practice. You know, there hasn't been really any ShootMania discussion stuff until now, so some people are trying to come out just to mess with us. But either way, some valuable input on maps and stuff like that. What do you think... let's see, what kind of importance do you think the movement that's built into the game actually plays with successfully attacking and defending? So I'll give this one to David. You know, is endurance and the stamina bar and the way the movement works, is it more important for attackers or defenders to just get started on that topic?
I think the movement is more important in towards the attacker, because you need to manage your stamina pretty well to get out of tricky situations that you could get sometimes, where the defenders don't really need that when they most likely like play a specific spot and don't really move out from that spot until someone dies or they have to rotate somewhere. So it's most likely like you have to, as an attacker, to manage your stamina and your movements pretty well compared to the defenders. because either way you'll just get circled by the defenders, and you will just have people rushing you, and you cannot get out of the way because you don't have enough stamina to get out or whatever. So it's literally the movement is really important also as an attacker, because if you use it well, you can just like pass behind somebody and just have an easy shot at someone, or you can just like literally pass a wave of spams of rockets at the beginning just by having like great movement and not getting hit by pre-fires or whatever. So definitely an attacker thing, using the stamina and the movement more than defenders. Obviously, you need it as a defender too. When you're in a 1v1, you play the pull.
Right.
You need to have good movement, like good strafes back and forth, to just like juke your opponent and make him fire at you. But it's most of the time, all the movements comes out when you're attacking.
Okay. How do you actually like the movement in the game? I know that they've thrown out the experimental elite server where you can actually jump off of walls. Did you get to play with that at all? Do you feel like it's an improvement or anything? I actually don't even know if you've played it, but have you?
Sorry, what was the question? What did you say?
On experimental elite, they actually added like the wall jumping.
Okay.
Did you get a chance to play with any of that?
Yeah, I played a little bit. It was pretty fun at first. Some of the features were really nice. I like the wall jumping. I definitely think it should be in the game. Mm-hmm. But I don't know, the movement in general feels really different than the elite mode. So it was kind of everybody kind of played a little bit just to see how the game was, and then everybody just came back to elite because the movement is way too different, and nobody really likes it. It kind of glides and it's kind of delayed. I don't know, it's kind of weird. But yeah, some of the features are really nice. I like the fact that you can just have like one wall jump. It will actually had a lot of other situations, I feel like, into the game. But some of the features, like the rails going through rockets or rockets destroying the rail, is just kind of dumb. I feel like it shouldn't be in the game because it's just going to be a huge mess, and it's going to turn out like you're going to shoot at the guy and he's just going to fire and blow your rockets out, and you're like, okay, nothing you can do about it. And it's just some of the features are pretty good. Yeah, some of the features were pretty good. Others should not even be like in the game or implemented in the XP mode. But it's whatever. They got to try everything.
Yeah, and I mean, obviously they left. I think they axed the lasers shooting down rockets thing for experimental elite and elite, but they left it as like a custom option. So like if someone wants to invent a game mode later down the road where people are shooting rockets at you all the time and you have to shoot them down, something like that, like I don't know, a different game mode could be used, but the code is there if something like that comes along. But yeah, I kind of agree that for elite it doesn't really make a lot of sense since that's really all you have is your rockets. Yeah. If your only possible way of killing the attacker is preventable, then it seems kind of silly. But for wall jumping, I'll toss it to Gilz since he is actually the Unreal Tournament player. How do you feel about the movement that they've tried out with the wall jumping?
The wall jumping's cool. It just wouldn't. I don't know how to explain it other than it doesn't work half the time.
Right. Like
it's not consistent at all. The idea is good though. I think it just needs to be tweaked a bit. Mm-hmm. But I don't know. It's good. Like I like it. I don't know about the rule about only wall jumping off castle walls. I don't know about that, but I like that. But like David said, the movement, it doesn't feel nice, so no one plays it.
So they did actually.
It's too sloppy. Like
okay.
If you try to move in a circle, in elite, you notice that your movement, you can move in a very tight circle, mm-hmm. and in the experimental, it's massive. And if matches were played on that, there would be so many deaths that were unintentional just based on movement. Just from like you didn't want to, like you kind of wanted to move forward, but you have this momentum that you can't control. So it wouldn't be fun.
So the wall jumping is a cool aspect. Needs some tweaking. Needs to be able to jump off of all surfaces. Is that basically?
Well, because then you'd have more to work with for creating maps. Mm-hmm. Like if it's only castle walls, then a map maker kind of gets screwed because maybe he wants a wall jump there, but he doesn't want it to be a castle wall, right?
Maybe he wants a fence or a gate or whatever. Or
yeah.
Yeah. Okay, that makes sense. And then the movement in general for the game itself, not the experimental, but the actual movement, the endurance system. What do you think about all of that?
At first I didn't like it, but then you kind of get used to it. I'm not. How do I explain this? I'm very particular about my stamina. Like I try not to waste it.
Right.
But sometimes I don't hit space soon enough, and you jump again because there's a bit of a delay there. But I like the movement, honestly. I wish there was more. I wish there was just something else. Something like maybe if you use stamina, you could circle jump more and get like have a bit more control on the ground to maybe like basically shift your momentum 90 degrees. So if there's a wall to your right, you could jump near the end of it and turn right and keep your speed. I just like to see maybe something extra for movement. It's not too simple right now, but I don't know. I played Quake, right? So I'm used to crazy stuff in there.
So so you feel like the movement's good overall? I mean, you said you didn't like it at first, but it felt a lot more natural.
It grows on you. It's simple. Like, you don't like it out of its simplicity, and sometimes like getting used to it doesn't work in your favor. But once you kind of get used to it and you pay attention to it, and you work on it, like I'll run around maps for just like an hour working on certain jumps or just seeing what I could do. So if you do that, then I don't know. I like it.
And if they do throw in wall jumps off of like all the surfaces, that's just more practice that you can do. That's more tricky things you can do to a team that's not as experienced, and you can bust out something crazy in competition. So that stuff is stuff I like to do as well. Figuring out the map. I mean, really, the three things that you have going for you in any competitive FPS, you have the ability to shoot. Maybe you're really good at shooting. And, the ability to move, if you're really comfortable with the movement system and you feel like you can outrun people or get away from them easily, that's going to be huge. And then map knowledge. So every time you're on new terrain, you want to definitely explore, all the ins and outs, give yourself the most options when attacking and defending, stuff like that. So let's see, what else can we talk about? We talk about maps, talk about the endurance system. Is there anything you guys think should be talked about with the game itself that maybe could be improved upon?
I do wish there was a little bit of airstrafing and a little bit more air control in the game, so you could escape better, and it probably would be better in streams. But I think that if it stayed as is, it's still pretty decent movement.
Okay. Anyone else?
Well, I mean, there's a lot of things that could possibly have changes, but so far so good. I feel like the game is in beta and it's still doing well. And it's still pretty balanced overall. But they definitely, I know that they don't want to they don't want to just leave it there, and they just want to keep improving the game. So obviously we'll see new changes, and some of us will just love them, and some of us will just hate them. So we'll see how it goes. I just hope they just keep listening to the players and actually make the right changes when we ask them to.
Gotcha. Gilz, anything you think can be improved upon that maybe you're frustrated with, or anything like that?
Like I said, adding some other layer to movement, but other than that, I think it's really good. I will say that most of the changes in the experimental elite are bad. Not bad, insulting, but not in a good direction. Stuff like checkpoints, reducing rockets to 3. I feel like it's a really good balance right now, so they just need to do little tweaks on it.
Okay, and
should be fine.
I know that some of the stuff they're working on is more tile sets, so map makers will have more to work with. That is one thing that a lot of people see ShootMania, and they're like, okay, this is boring. Everything's a grassy field or a castle. That's there needs to be more. And that's that's one of the big things that they're working on now is space age kind of stuff. Metal textures and just all kinds of different terrain that'll be nice for map makers to work with, and obviously provide a lot of new competitive maps for us to keep working on and stuff like that. But as far as let's talk about the North American scene a little bit. What are some of the teams that you guys play with a lot or are friendly with, or what are some of the teams that you feel like are the most competitive right now aside from yourselves? I'll toss that to David to start.
I think overall there's probably 15 teams and maybe 10 that are really active, and I'll say 4 teams that are kind of decent. So at the end of the day it comes down 4 teams, I guess. Most of them, you probably know them already. It's BTG, they're pretty solid. 3C is also a pretty good team. And then I think those 2 are probably the best teams with us, because they're the team that put in the most practice and the most time into the game. The other teams are just, some of them are just really cocky, and they think they're just going to pick up the game and just beat everyone, and then they just get a reality check when they play for real and it matters in a match or whatever. People will just destroy them. So I feel like they need to change the way they see things and just start practicing a little bit more, and I think they'll be really good. But also the rest of the teams, I feel like they could just upset anyone, though. I don't think they're
ESP
bad
Junior.
at all.
ESP Junior.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's the big one too.
I just think all the teams could just upset anybody in a match because the game is still kind of random a little bit. So if any of these teams that I mentioned have a bad day, they could easily lose, and even us, we could just lose a game against all the teams out there. So we just got to be careful about that. But I'm definitely. People kind of underestimate the North American scene because it's kind of like there's less teams obviously than in Europe, but I really feel like maybe like in a couple months 5 or 6 teams are going to be able to compete against the best teams in Europe. So yeah.
Gotcha. And Godson, who did you want to give any shout outs to other teams? I know the chat is actually blowing up.
I gotta get a shout out to D&J. They've improved a lot. Kind of think they're the best team in the world now, but they're all right about it. ESP Junior, our younger team. ESP Junior is like the best team ever. So, and then we got Rez. Rez is a team that actually got made after PAX. They were people that showed up at the PAX event, and it's really cool of them to stick with the game, and they're wanting to improve a lot, and they've asked us for tips, and they're doing a lot better too.
That is awesome, actually. RES, so that's Kraken, Nodmac, Flamehopper, I think, is on there, and a couple others maybe. But yeah, that's pretty cool that the guys that joined in on the fan and pro tournament at PAX actually just kept playing and kept getting better. So that is actually really cool. Gilz, do you want to tell us more about ESP Junior? I'm not actually too familiar with them.
Ooh, that would be a David question.
That's a David question? Because you don't know them?
I think all of them are French.
Oh.
Yeah, they are.
He knows them very.
Okay, David, who are these ESP Junior guys?
Well, I'm kind of the one that like made them play the game, most of them. And what happened was like they were just trolling at first, and they all tagged up ESP Junior for fun. And at some point, they realized that there's only 3 of them, and then why not make a team? And then they just did it. And now they're just like playing seriously and trying to compete. And I think they improved a lot actually, and they could upset a lot of teams. And everybody should take them seriously because they really want to do something in this game too. So that's cool.
Awesome. Yeah, they are signed up for Monday, so we'll get to see them play a little bit. And all right, that's awesome that that actually we are growing. ESP Junior and RES are 2 of the newer teams. There are some teams that signed up that I have not played with, so that's kind of cool to see as well. I think we've given out something like 5,000 beta keys in the last few weeks, so I think a lot of them are interested in checking things out. Maybe they're like mid-tier Quake or Counter-Strike players that want to give it a new try in a new game. So that'll be cool to see how that goes. But did you guys happen to watch any of the European qualifiers yesterday morning?
Yeah, we did. I mean, I did actually. I watched most of it, but obviously it's a huge qualifier, so some of the games are just going to be like not really that interesting because a team is just going to be so much better than the other that they're just going to destroy them. But towards the end, there was like some good matches that I recall. I think I saw a match with Dignitas that was pretty decent.
Yeah, that was a good one with Gamers League in the round of 32. But Absolute Legends stomped like a serve when we cast them, so I think that's the one.
Yeah, and also like the best teams in France kind of like all the rosters have been like shaken up a little bit. Like Millennium as a complete new team. I think Colwyn too. They have like new players, so I really want to see how these teams are going to play. And obviously, they might be our competition if you qualify for IPL. So that's why we're looking up to those VODs and all those streams that you guys doing, so we can see how they play and see who's good, who's not, and if there's any like things that we could like see if it's good to do or not, and just like get a hold of it, see how they play, because obviously we cannot practice against them.
Right.
So this is all we have right now to see how these teams play. So that's why we keep an eye on them.
All right, so you can learn some new defensive positions, maybe a couple new attack routes, something like that. I mean, I learned just by watching yesterday a path on Collided where you can actually sneak up behind the goal. I'd never had seen anyone do it, so I'm definitely stealing that from Absolute Legends. But yeah, definitely a great idea to be watching these European teams, because 2 of them will be at IPL 5, that $100,000 tournament. And I do want to put an asterisk on the $100,000. It's actually including travel. So like when you win a qualifier, you're winning the cost of you going to the event, and then the prize pool is going to be determined after travel. So all these qualifying teams, like, they get the prize. Obviously, the teams coming from Europe, they're, you know, their prize is going to be a little bit bigger because their, you know, their flights are going to cost more. But so the actual prize pool of the event may be $75,000, might be 70, but it's still going to be a huge chunk of change. And obviously, if you guys do qualify, you're getting free trips out to Las Vegas and free hotel stay and all that stuff. So you're still getting a chunk of that, quote unquote, like, missing prize pool. But I do want to, you know, make that clear before, you know, everyone gets there in November and they're like, hey, what happened to $100,000? But that's, you know, that's clear in the signups and all that stuff. We have $100,000 to split with flights, hotels, and the actual prize pool. But that's a ton of money. I think in a couple of different prize layouts, we haven't got it hammered down completely, but it's going to be basically 25 to 30 grand for first place. So that's a big chunk of change for each of you if you do end up winning. And it's only 8 teams. It's going to be 2 groups of 4. You will play, obviously, 3 other teams to try to get into the playoff bracket, and then the playoff bracket will just have 4 teams, and obviously the finals are going to be the big money. But definitely a good idea to check out all that European competition as it's going on, even though, you know, you're more familiar with the North American teams, and there's going to be 4 of them. So definitely keep scrimming those guys, because you're going to see some familiar faces for sure in Las Vegas. Do you guys have anything to say about, let's see, what else can we talk about? We talked about other game modes a little bit. Do you guys just only play Elite 100% of the time? I know Brandon mentioned Speedball is really fun, but sometimes it can be hard to find a server. Do you guys play any, like, Royal or I don't know, Siege or anything like that?
I feel like most players probably play a little bit of Instagib. When they just, like, want to kind of like deathmatch in Counter-Strike or whatever, you just hop on a server and you play that. I play a couple Time Attack. I like to just hop on a server sometimes by myself and just, like, run around the map and just jump and just, like, practice my movement. But that's pretty much it. Like, I know about all the other game modes. Some of them are pretty fun, but like Brandon said, it's kind of hard to just have, like, because you need a huge party to play these modes. Like, you need like 15 people, and so far there's not enough people at the right time just to play these modes. So that happens sometimes. Sometimes servers just get completely full and people just play games like that in modes like that. It's pretty fun. But most of the parts, like the new people that get beta keys, they don't know how to install Elite, so they play Storm, and then they play a couple of games of Storms, and then they see that there's not that many people, so they just hop at it.
Right. Well, I
most
made
likely
a video.
But Elite, yeah.
I made a video to show off how to actually go from grabbing a beta key.
It's a little bit tricky. I needed people
Elite
to tell me how to do it too when I first started playing. So definitely, like, you can playing these modes kind of like you just play them for fun. Yeah. So it happens sometimes, but most of the time when we're on as a team, we just hop on and play scrims in Elite. Yeah. Yeah.
We've talked to Ubisoft and Nadio about, you know, why is Elite a separate install? It doesn't really make a lot of sense when you have, you know, 10 other game modes inside Storm. You can just, you know, throw Elite in there. Obviously, it's to keep the ladder separate, like to keep the rankings and stuff separate. But I mean, I think they are working on integrating it. It is still the beta, so that's kind of forgivable. But there is, I did make a video for IGN Pro League that basically is like, okay, go here to claim a beta key, install it, and this is how you get on Elite and start playing. So hopefully that gets passed around a little bit more. I don't know. But,
there's another thing that new players are installing Elite XP and going in and saying, "There's no servers, there's no one playing this," and I have to tell them that you just installed Elite XP. You got to get the real Elite. So that's another thing that people need to look out for too. Make sure they get the right Elite mode.
I'm gonna, I'll have to definitely make a suggestion for that as well. That is a great point. I didn't realize that was happening because obviously I installed Elite like months ago, so I know what's going on. But new players might not. That's a good point. So they do need a better way to get Elite in the faces of new players. But let's see what else can we talk about? Are there any other North American? I know that was it D&J actually that had their own cup recently. Do you guys know about that?
Oh,
it was
North American ShootMania Cup.
Yeah, that was hosted by D&J. They were the ones like running it, and they were the ones that did everything to make that happen. So that was pretty cool. And now they're gonna I think they're gonna run that weekly with better prices all the time. So it's pretty cool.
Awesome. Yeah, on Saturday they're gonna have $100 first place prize for it. So people need to sign up, get some free money.
Free money, yay! That's our North American qualifier starting Monday. You can still sign up for the free money after ESP qualifies next week. I'm sure there will be opportunities for people to try and qualify. But yeah, actually, I mean, if you do qualify in that North American qualifier, obviously you're going to get put into groups. But even last place at the live event is going to get several $1,000s. So I mean, you're winning a free trip to Vegas and several $1,000s for basically winning a qualifier. You know what I mean? Like, there should be some more signups for this. Just anyone watching.
I think you'll see more later. I think you're gonna see because okay, I'll just give an example.
Sure.
There's definitely Quake players that are just sitting there that are going to probably maybe watch a qualifier or two, probably Alias, and play. So I think the first one, it's like you said, like people know there's already going to be teams that are going to, like, they have no chance of qualifying. So that you'll probably see more in, like, 2, 3, and 4. Probably the most in 3 and 4. But because you'll see teams that aren't going to play the first two and then play the next two. Maybe try to surprise, so.
Gotcha. And I kind of feel that way, too. I feel like Europe definitely is going to be that way also because they had, I believe it was either DreamHack or Gamescom that had over 100 teams sign up. And we had 47, and I mean, that's really kind of crazy just to keep track of. For me, because I was kind of running things and casting and, you know, trying to make sure all the servers were working and stuff like that. But if we had over 100 teams sign up, that would just be incredible, especially if there's only, you know, the EU qualifier. There's only one more after this week, and that one starts in 2 weeks. But for people asking in chat, the next qualifier day for this stream on Twitch TV/IPL ShootMania, that's actually tomorrow morning at 11 a.m. Pacific. That's 8 p.m. Central European time. We'll be doing the round of 8 of the first EU qualifier. Teams like Dignitas, 2 different Millennium teams, Eclipsia, Callwin, and a couple of others are going to be duking it out for the round of 8. And then Friday at 11 a.m. Pacific and 8 p.m. Central European time, we'll have the semifinals and finals, and those are going to be a bit longer, best of 5s and a best of just best of 5s. We're still trying to determine. What do you guys think? Actually, I might as well ask you while we're on here. For IPL 5, the final match, should it be BO5 or BO7? What do you think?
7.
Yeah,
I'd say 7.
3. Honestly, I think even standard matches should be BO5. BO3 is pretty cutthroat,
right.
So definitely BO7 for a final.
Okay, that's
yeah, I agree. I agree with that. I think it should be at least BO5, and because you know, like, ShootMania matches are not like StarCraft 2 matches or Counter-Strike matches.
Right.
Like it's gonna take maximum, as I'll say, 10 to 15 minutes to play a map. So it's easily like doable on a schedule playing a BO5. Even like if 2 teams goes at it and they end up like playing the last map and there's like lessons for a while, it won't take an hour. That's why I was thinking maybe it should always be BO5, BO7 for the finals. Should be the best format.
So for our qualifiers, we are actually doing best of 5 for the semis and the finals to earn the trip out to Vegas. And then right now for the group stages, we have BO3 groups and then BO5 actual bracket. And I'm definitely leaning toward the best of 7 for the finals, just because it gives teams more chances to show that they're actually the better team. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
You know, it eliminates more of the randomness that you sometimes see. Because sometimes, you know, the worst player on a team will run in and take 3 shots and kill 3 people. Even I've done that. So I actually, sometimes when I land a shot, I'm just like surprised. I was like, how the hell did I do that? Yeah, so best of 7, definitely considering that. And Vegas is going to be a lot of fun. Are all you guys 21? Yeah, you're going to be able to enjoy it. Excellent.
But I think it also should be maybe a double elimination bracket, not a single elim, because I think it's going to be, because like a team might be sent home by another team, but that other team could actually beat like some of the other teams. You know what I mean? So if they were in the lower bracket, and sometimes like it could be unfair for a team that matches up, let's say, against the best team, and they lose, and then they're out, and they don't have a chance to just like ground the lower bracket and play those other teams that will just lose, or that had like an easier bracket to beat teams. So I definitely think it should be always be like double elim with a lower bracket.
Okay, well that's, I mean, we're for this first tournament, we're doing the group stages to try and cut down on that a little bit, because if you win your group, I mean, you're clearly the best of that
Yeah.
group. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
worst case situation, you've got a three-way tie of 2-1s and one team sitting at 0-3. But then, of course, you're going to have a tiebreaker. You're going to have map score to work off of from there. So, I mean, in the groups at least, that's the first part of it. There's no like instant elimination when you first get there, and that bracket is meant to, it's meant to be suspenseful and entertaining for spectators as well. So when you know that their tournament life is on the line, that builds excitement. And we've definitely done double elimination, and every single StarCraft live event that we've done so far, we've changed the way that the groups and brackets work. So there's definitely room to change things around, but that was kind of our feeling for this first one. Keep it small, so 8 teams, just so we ensure that we can cast every game, give each match the attention it deserves. You've got group stages, so no one gets instantly eliminated, and you still have that suspenseful final. So I mean, definitely open to suggestions for the future, but I think that's what we're going to roll with for IPL 5. It should be good. Hopefully, I'll see you guys there, and I think we've exhausted most of the topics that I had in mind. I'm not sure if you guys had some shout-outs. If you want to talk about, actually, let's talk about ESP. I know Brandon was talking about the team is expanding. Maybe you guys will have a website soon, something like that. Do you want to talk a little bit about where the team's headed?
Yeah, we will be having a website up soon. We're talking to some coders about getting it up, and we may have some pretty big sponsors to announce in the future. So nothing can really talk about too much, but we're trying to build it up to a proper organization.
Gotcha. David or Bryan want to talk about that a little bit? How the team's building up?
I think you said everything pretty much. Like there's gonna be some talks in the next few weeks, and if it turns out like positive, we might have really good sponsors to back us up for the upcoming events, so that would be pretty great. But so far, we just have to wait and see, I guess.
Yep, you just got to keep playing and keep winning. I mean, as of right now, I consider you guys the best in North America. Obviously, you trashed Area 51 at PAX 4-0 for that $750, and obviously you guys are still playing, so you are expected to qualify. If you don't, that's gonna be pretty amazing for the other teams to be able to grab some of that cash. But I think you guys obviously have a great chance of qualifying next week. There's still 3 more chances even if you don't. So definitely expect you guys to get in, and that'll be cool to hang out again in Vegas, one of my favorite cities.
Sure.
Have you guys been to Vegas before?
Never.
No.
Nope.
All right. This is going to be awesome.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, dude. I actually need to. I need someone to keep me away from the tables because that's what inevitably happens. Late at night, I'm just exhausted from casting all day, but I just want to go out and drink and gamble and have fun while all the hundreds of
Nice, real mature, Josh.
Well, come on, man. You got hundreds of your esports buddies all in one place. I mean, everyone's spread out throughout the country, throughout the world, and when you get everyone in one place like that, it's party time, man. It's esports. Yeah. It's just a lot of fun. You guys are gonna have a great time if and when you do qualify, of course.
Don't worry about it.
Yeah, don't worry about it. All right, so yeah, that's all I've got for you guys. It sounds like ESP is headed places. Obviously, Vegas could be among those places if you do well. And I want to thank everyone in the chat who showed up for the first ever episode of Target Practice. I want to thank Josh Shaw at IGN for helping me make this overlay in like the last 10 minutes before the show went live. And apologies to everyone for starting a little bit late, but next week, I think you guys basically have an open invitation. If any of you want to come on for future episodes, it's going to be every Tuesday night at 6 p.m. So I'll keep in touch with you guys about that.
Yeah, sounds great.
Okay, and then I'll be bringing on some other guests. Maybe I saw Night Nimbus in there. Kraken maybe can talk about his rise to elite glory. Yeah, so this show will continue every Tuesday at 6 p.m. Should be a lot of fun. Thanks very much, everyone, for watching. Thanks to all of you guys, ESP. Let's go around and do any shout-outs if you guys have them. XP3, you go first.
My teammates, obviously. Shout-outs to them. And the other team, ESP Junior, they're my boys too. I hope they qualify as well. That would be awesome if they can. And a shout-out to Tatar, that is our manager right now, and he's doing an awesome job to keep us up, to find us sponsors and everything. So yeah.
Awesome. Brandon, you want to go?
I think give a shout out to ESP Junior, of course, and all my ShootMania friends: Frisco, Rez, DMJ, Ron, Dark Rabbi. Gotta give a shout out to Dark Rabbi.
Awesome.
And hopefully we can see everyone in Vegas.
All right, Brian, want to shout out to anybody?
Shout out to anyone that really supports us, any sponsors and stuff like that, but mostly just to people who actually enjoy the game and watch it, and I don't know, root for us.
Yeah, so soon you'll be able to all just say, to our many millions of fans out in the world, all the ESP fanboys and fangirls out there, we love you and keep supporting us. But right now, I definitely agree with what Brian said. Anyone who enjoys the game and supports it, and at least gives it a try. Because that's what a game needs. It is in beta. Everyone has the opportunity to go play it right now with that link that's on the screen. So if you do go to go.ign.com/IPL ShootMania, you can grab yourself a key. You can start playing Elite right away. You can eventually start trying to qualify for these six-figure prize pools like these guys ESP are doing. And big thanks to everyone who actually is giving the game a try. If you do play the game, if you do enjoy it, please, share this link with people. Get some of your friends on. These are 30-day keys. They're not 7-day keys like they used to be. We actually, convinced them that 7 days really kind of wasn't a lot of time to figure out if you like a game or not. So they bumped that up to 30. And actually now, if you do redeem one of the 30-day keys, they'll email you with whatever your email address you register with and give you more keys to share. So the game should be growing. It's up to you guys to share a game you enjoy, so definitely do that. And that's, I think, it for this week. Thanks very much, everyone who came to watch. I appreciate it very much, and we'll be back on Tuesday with another episode of Target Practice, and we'll be back tomorrow at 11 a.m. Pacific for the next part of the EU IPL